Come on, stupid. Huh? Oh, it's only you. You know, I have a very unique characteristic about me. What's that, you ask? Why, I just love the Beatles. I can't get enough of them. I'm rereading the Zapple Diaries. I'm finally getting around to reading In His Own Right and A Spaniard in the Work. And now, I'm even reading stuff that's tangentially related to the Beatles. But what's left? What haven't I covered on this channel yet? I've done Magical Mystery Tour. I've done The Magic Christian. I'm sure I'll do another movie with magic or magical in the title. Well, let's see. What's left? Hell no. Hell no, I'm not doing that one. No way. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Never heard of it. Never seen it on YouTube. So what's left? What's that one movie that's mostly just relegated to being a trivia question, attributed to it being the film set that John Lennon started writing Strawberry Fields Forever on? Why yes, the answer of course is How I Won the War. Oh yes, everything is just as orange and hot as it looks on the surface. How I Won the War is a 1967 British dark comedy satire World War II movie by director Richard Lester. And wouldn't you know it, today's movie has a Beatle in it, namely Jimmy Nicol. I'm sorry, that's Jonathan Lemons. And it's pretty much for that reason only that the movie's remembered at all. It was not very well regarded when it first came out. It hasn't undergone much of a critical reappraisal since then. Richard Lester had done Help in a Hard Day's Night. He was coming out with movies like The Knack and How to Get It, which was a kind of swingin' London kind of fun movie which had a dark undercurrent as the movie goes along. He made a movie after this one called The Bed-Sitting Room, which was very bleak and apocalyptic. So this movie has frequent Lester collaborator Michael Crawford, who plays the main character. We have Roy Kinnear, who's in a lot of Lester movies too. Well, it's certainly got a lot of ideas, a lot of shouting. Not everything works, but there were many, many times during the viewing where I said, "This is so goddamn weird." So there must be something going for it. The main plot of the movie is that a heroic World War II story is being told by a British officer played by Michael Crawford, very intentionally but gratingly, and a very puny kind of character, about how he won the war. And then we keep cutting back and forth from Crawford telling his story to German troops who are keeping him prisoner, and his men just keep dying off one by one, and they come back as ghosts and continue marching with the rest of the troop, but they sort of look like toy soldiers, so they're basically just reduced to playthings. There's broad humor, there's clever wordplay, there's lots of sarcasm, there's intentionally unfunny humor, but there's a lot of fourth wall breaking and characters just addressing the camera head on. There's a scene where the two neighbor characters from Help who go, "Wave! Oh, I don't want to. Oh, go on, wave. This is so natural." They're in a movie theater watching the movie as it's happening and commenting on it. At times it seems like the movie's just parodying war movies in general. And the movie especially ends on a particularly sour note, like a literal piano note that makes you go, oh, okay. Because the first 20, maybe 30 minutes of the movie, it seems like it's just going to be a relentless, campy, over-the-top, super British comedy movie, and then suddenly there's brutal scenes of war or actual World War II footage is inserted to it. And despite the film's very off-kilter style and very dark tone at times, I was feeling like I really like this, even though I'm not exactly sure what the hell's going on at any time. It was definitely interesting seeing John Lennon in an acting role. I mean, he's pretty good. He's kind of just playing himself. I think I'm going to give it to Ringo, though, for Best Beatles Acting Performance for Caveman. Just kidding. For That'll Be the Day. And my favorite Beatles actor movie would have to probably be The Magic Christian. So overall, I really liked it. It was not at all what I was expecting. It didn't pull any punches. It's a little frustrating and tiresome at times. but it's very intriguing, and it still remains a bit of an enigma even after my second viewing. It is hard to recommend to general audiences, though, because if you look at reviews of it, it's mostly just people going, I watched it because John Lennon did it, and it was boring, I didn't get it. So it is hard to give this an out-and-out recommendation. It's a pretty difficult movie to keep your attention span for almost 2 hours, with the rapid cutting, with the constant cutting away to all these different like bits and sketches and things that are just like self-contained little set piece things. In fact, the only movie that I could really think of that utilized real World War II footage into a narrative that really captured the senselessness of war would have to be All This in World War III. Oh, and the Sergeant Pepper movie. Anyway, that's a recommendation for me. Tread lightly, because it might be a bit of a minefield for you. That was a joke. Stay sexy.
I knew this had happened.